Home Assistant 2026.5 is almost out and I tested the beta today. There are a lot of new features for the dashboards and other stuff, so let's get started. First things first, I tested based on the beta release, and that means that things might change before the final release will be released on the first Wednesday of the month. The first two things that I'm going to show you are things that I cannot really demonstrate because I don't have the devices in my house, but let's anyway look into them. Radio frequency is now added to Home Assistant, and that means that you can now control radio frequency devices. You can use an RM4 Pro or an ESPHome device to control them. There are at this moment two integrations that already make use of it. It's the Honeywell string lights and the Novi cooker hood that you can use for it. Really useful. Another thing that has been added is serial ports over the network with ESPHome. What you can do is now you can control devices that have serial ports like the RS232 port with Home Assistant by taking an ESPHome device, plug in the RS232 cable, and then you can control your old device. This is really handy because now you can put your ESPHome device close to your device that uses an RS232 port, and you can control that device through your network. Super nice. Now let's get over to the dashboards because there are new functionalities in the maintenance dashboard, the security dashboard and the overview dashboard. Let's first go to the new maintenance dashboard. If you go to settings and you go to dashboards, you can see the built-in dashboards over here, and there's a new dashboard called maintenance dashboard. I already added it to my menu. You can do it by clicking on the three dots, clicking edit, and then say add to sidebar. So let's open it over here, and here is the new maintenance dashboard. What you see here is an overview of all the battery states at this moment, and there will be more things in the future. So you can see what the states of all your batteries are. Pretty cool. Then another thing is the security dashboard. If we go to the security dashboard, which was already there is new functionality here, and that is this activity list. You see here all the activities that has been there on your security devices. This is my test environment, so this is not a real life situation, but still you can see all the state changes that occurred in my test environment. Also pretty cool thing. Then another thing is the overview dashboard. And in the overview dashboard, the summaries part has changed a bit. So let's go, here are the summaries, and let's go to edit this overview. What you can now see is I can turn on and off various things in my summaries. Let's say I only want to see security and I want to see, well, this. So if I save it, I see less links over here. But what I can also do, and that is really cool, is I can add shortcuts. For instance, I can add a shortcut to the developer tools. Or I can add a shortcut to the automations. Like this. Let's put this on top. This one below there. Save it. And now I can go to my developer tools by just clicking here, and I'm in developer tools. This is really cool. I would like to see that this can also be done within the menu on the left side, but this is already a very nice addition. Then there are more things added. Let me go to my tutorial page, edit this dashboard, and I'm going to add a new card in this section, and that new card is the shortcut card. This is a new card, and what the shortcut card can do is that it can navigate to different parts of your system, but can also perform actions. So for instance, I can navigate to a specific page. Let me see, tablet. And within tablet, I want to go, for instance, to bedroom. So now I have a link straight to my bedroom view in my tablet dashboard. I can add another thing. For instance, let's save this. We go to shortcut card. Let's say I can also start assist from here. I can also say start listening. So if I click on this, let's stay done. I click on this, then it starts assist right away. And for bedroom, if I click on it, I go to my bedroom view like I showed before. Then another option is shortcut card. Oh, not navigate. No. Perform action. And perform action is really nice actually. I can do various things here. Let me see. What can I do? I can basically do everything that I want. What I can do is, for instance, light, turn off light. And then I can say add target. And then, for instance, all my lights. Then I can change the label. Turn off all lights. A description. Yes, turns off all lights. Really? Yes. I can change the icon. Light group. Light group. What is the name again? Light bulb, light group. Here. Like this. And I can change the color of the icon. And I can even change additional interactions, so an hold behavior and double tap behavior, as we already know from the tile card. So if I click on this button, I will not do that, then all the lights will turn off. So that is also very nice. Let's go to another option. Shortcut. What do we have here? Oh yes, of course. And we can also do nothing. I don't know why, but maybe you have an idea why you want to do nothing if you click on that card. Okay, so this is the new shortcut card. Let's go to another functionality. Another option is that I can change features in the tile card for the media player. So let's search a media player. The office. This one, for instance. This is my media player. I can add various features here, and I can do media player playback controls, media player volume buttons, media player volume slider. So let's say turn it on. Okay, and what I can do, I can even edit these features. So if I go to playback controls, I can say I want the following controls to show. I want a pause button, I want a play button, I want a stop button, and that's okay for now. So now I can customize my media player a bit in the tile card. And there are also features added for the weather. So let's go to the tile card, choose weather integration, open weather map for instance. And now I go to features, I can add a feature, daily forecast. And what you can see here is I can show the current temperature, I can turn it off and turn it on. And I see here a forecast in temperatures. I can also show the precipitation when it is going to rain. And what I can do more is, if I go back to the feature editor, I can also add an hourly forecast. And that shows like this. So this looks also very nice. It's a very nice little interface for your weather card. Then we go to vacuums and lawnmowers. So let's go to tile card and let's get the Office A10 Plus mini robot, and I save it, and actually it only shows in the more info. So if I click, done. If I click on this, then you see that this looks much nicer, and I can now start it over here. it is still a little bit slow, but maybe it's because of the first release of this functionality in this beta. But this looks really nice, and I can also return it back to home, and then the animation changes as well, returning to dock, as you can see. Really cool. Okay, we can do the same for my lawnmower. So let's add another tile. This is the one. Save it. Done this time. Click here. And you see I also have a nice image for my lawnmower, and there should be animations for it, but for now it's not working yet. I guess when everything is going live with the final release, then this will work perfectly. Okay, I think this was also a very nice addition to the dashboard. And another thing is, it's a small thing, but I'm going to show you anyway. Let's go to entities. Let's remove these. Add an entity. Let's see, air conditioning mode cool. Add another entity. Mode heat. What you see here now is that these toggles have a new design. It's a small thing, but it looks much better. Then the purpose-specific automations and triggers have something new too. Let's go to automations, settings, automations and scenes, create automation. And one of the things that has been added is that if I go to create new automation and add trigger, and then I'm going to say, for instance, light, and then I'm going to say light turned on. And what I can do then is that I can say trigger when each of the lights, the first light of all of the lights, are turned on. So for instance, I can choose a light group. Let's say bathroom spots. So when each of these lights turn on, then do something. When the first light turns on, then do something. Or when all lights are turned on, do something. But this has been added now as well, and that is 4 at least. And that is what was the duration in the older trigger interface. And it was not yet implemented here, but now it's here. So you can, for instance, say if the lights are turned on for 5 minutes, then do something. Very nice that this has been added. And there are more triggers added. So if I go to add trigger and I search for media player, for instance, media player, then you see there's a trigger media player paused playing, media player started playing, media player stopped playing, media player turned off, media player turned on. So these are new. Then there are also other ones for for timers. You have now a trigger for timer finished, timer cancelled, timer paused, timer restarted, and timer started. And there's also a doorbell rang trigger now, but I cannot show that because I have a Real-Link doorbell and the Real-Link doorbell integration doesn't support these events yet. Then another one is the updates. You have a trigger for update became available now. And there is another one for remotes. And you have a trigger now for remote turned off, remote turned on. So instead remote turned on. Then I can choose a remote. Apple TV, Harmony Hub. In the office in this case, say Apple TV. So when one or more remotes turned on, Apple TV in this case, I can also set the delay, for instance, for 2 seconds. And then I can say, for instance, dim the lights when the remote is turned on. Okay, we are almost there, but there's one thing that I want to show you, and that is that the template documentation has been renewed totally, which is really cool. So there's a quick example here already in the beginning, and what you can see, for instance, is that I can click on various functions in examples, and then it goes to the specific page for that. For in this case, it is state what it does, what the result is, what the signature is, the parameters, more examples, things you want to know, etc., etc. So if I go to the learning guide, which is actually a complete course, you can go, let's say, to, well, what shall we say, dates and times. You can see how times work, what they show, how you can use them, how you can access parts of a day time, how you can extract the year, the month, the day, hour, minutes, weekdays, how you can format times so that time looks the way you want it to look, etc., etc. It's so much. It is really, really cool. Now, next to that, let's go over to the integrations. There are a lot of new integrations, changed integrations, other noteworthy changes. Let's go over them. I'm not going over them one by one. You can read it yourself. I'll put the link in the description below. There's Denon 2 RS232, which I've been talking about in the beginning. Duco, Eurocard, Fumis, Honeywell string lights, Kiosker if you use an iPad or iPhone and you're not using fully kiosk. So many things here. Victron, GX. Noteworthy improvements, these are a lot. MQTT, Matter, ESPHome, Shelly, Sonos, Apple TV, Music Assistant, Roborock, WLED, Broadlink, Home Connect, OpenAI, Switchbot, Tado, SolarEdge, Anthropic. There are so many big names here that things have changed. So go through this list. If you use one of these things, see if it is something that you can work with. It goes on and goes on and goes on. Also, there's Open Display, which is really nice. You can use these e-paper devices to project Home Assistant data on it. Really nice to experiment with it. Now, let's go down to the other noteworthy changes. So here are the other noteworthy changes. One really nice thing is the mobile app notifications are now entities. Now, if I go to settings, automations and scenes, create an automation and create a new automation and go to actions, I'm going to by type and I'm going to search for notifications. There is an option, send a notification message. And what we can now do is we can add targets. So we can now choose various phones in your house. An old phone for me and an older phone, well, and I can send a message to it, blah, 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 which is really cool because this was something we couldn't do before. What you can now do is, for instance, bundle phones or devices like phones in a group and then send a message to that whole group. Very nice addition. Okay, a search bar on the integration detail page. Okay, let's see this. Don't save. Going to devices and services. For instance, Reolink. I have 6 devices here, but sometimes you have a really long list. Let's say I only want to see the devices which are in the office and bam, there they are. Also, very nice addition. Simple thing, just a search bar, but it is a real quality of life thing. What do we have more? Dashboard visibility conditions can now refer to the card's own entity. That is also nice. And also it supports attributes, which is really cool because now you can show a dashboard card based on the attribute of an entity. Reload shell commands without restarting. That is also nice if you use that a lot. Template vacuums learned about rooms and more unit love for sensors. So this is what you can expect from the new release 2026.5 of Home Assistant this upcoming Wednesday. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you can sponsor me through Patreon, Ko-fi, or by joining this channel. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye bye!